FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
There are perceptual illusions that are truly reliable. Anyone who's got a clear shot of the screen sees the tower on the right leaning further to the right than the tower on the left, and yet these are the same photograph. We can get behind our failures of intuition in science. Our failures of intuition tell us a lot about how we're wired, in this case about how the visual system is organized. But there's no question that there are, just as there are perceptual illusions, there are moral illusions. And these are illusions that we have to find a way to get behind. This is based on research by Paul Slovic. He asked groups of people, how much would you give to help a little girl in need? Now, when you ask people that question, you get a maximum rating of empathy and a maximum donation. And if you ask a group how much would you give to help a little boy in need, you get the same response: maximum empathy, maximum donation. The problem, however, is that when you ask them how much they would give to a little girl and a little boy in need, you get a 25% diminishment in both self-reported empathy and material donation. I mean, our concern goes down by a quarter by adding another child. Now, this is clearly not a normative result. I mean, this is a bug, not a feature. I mean, if you care about a little girl and you care about a little boy, you should care at least as much about their combined fate. And it gets worse. The more kids you add, the more altruism and empathy diminishes. Now, this explains what Slovic has called genocide neglect, this fact about ourselves that many of us have noticed, that we find genocides boring. I mean, we do not have the attentional and emotional resources to pay attention to the greatest occasions of human misery. And yet we have endless resources to pay attention to the story of one little girl trapped in a well. This is an image that perhaps many of you are too young to recognize, but this is baby Jessica pulled from a well. For something like 120 hours, she was in this well, and there was just wall-to-wall television coverage. I mean, everyone with a television was desperate to see how this was going to turn out. And yet, 800,000 people can be hacked to death in Rwanda, and if it even makes the news, we can barely pay attention to it. This is something that we have to engineer our better selves into our laws and our social institutions so that we can protect ourselves from our moment-to-moment failures of moral intuition.